Hi guys, Damien from Entourage here. Just wanted to give you a video about serviceability. Like a common question for us is how much can I borrow? Um, and look, it's the same answer. Like I know nothing about you. We need to know in-depth details around your income and liabilities, and what kind of product you're going to select now. Whether it's an owner-occupied, investment loan, or interest only, or principal interest can vary how much you can borrow. So this gives you a bit of a guide of how it actually works. Every lender is going to be different. We can deal with up to 50 or 60 lenders on our panel. So if you watch over here, if you click two applicants, no kids for now. I can go that applicant one earns $100,000, and applicant two earns $80,000, let's say, and I can click calculate. And you can see how much they can borrow, ranging from, $1 million down here up to $1.4 million. And this is not an exact science because, again, it does depend on, what kind of product you're going to go for, sorry. Because the serviceability rate here is really important. And this is the big thing that changed last year. This used to be stuck at around 7.25% as an estimate. But it's come down now, so it's really relative to the end rate you get. So let's look at AMP, for instance. If you were to get a 3% interest rate with them, their assessment rate would add 2.5% on top, being 5.5%. And so a lot of people ask, well, why is it like that? And it's simply because to protect the consumer that if rates do go up, that they can afford it. And I agree with that. So it is about 10 interest rate increases at the moment, 2.5%. So look, it is still a fair buffer, I think. But as we go from here, you can see it's a fairly bit of money if you've got 180 as a household income. What happens now if you start to add kids, 2 kids? Trust me, I've got a few of them. They are liabilities in a good way, good liabilities, but they do come off your borrowing capacity. You can see now it's gone down to Citibank was on top. Now they're down almost 200,000. So you've lost almost $100,000 per kid. Other liabilities that are pretty common is a credit card. Let's say this couple has a $15,000 credit card. It's calculated on the limit. So a lot of people tell me that I don't spend anything on it. But look, the bank looks at it as if you could, and they use a percentage of that limit to come off your borrowing capacity. And so you can see again that you've lost almost, $100,000 to $150,000, maybe $100,000 there. Other liabilities that is quite common is, let's say a car loan. Even if you've got $30,000 left on this car loan, that comes off again, and now you've again probably lost another $100,000. Other liabilities that people forget to tell us about sometimes is their HECS debt. HECS is relevant to the income you earn. So let's say for this instance, you might have $10,000 left, and it comes off there. So anything you have coming out as a direct debit, whether it's Afterpay, Zip Pay, they're all factored in here. You can kind of see how many types of liabilities you can see there. So personal loans, a common one, but all these ones here factor in. And then the living expenses. So this is the really, the in-depth detail that we need to go to. So it's just ticked here default. So every bank's going to use a bare minimum if you've got 2 kids, a couple with 2 kids and 180K income. No matter what you say you spend, these guys are going to use this amount here on this far column. So if you said you spend $2,500 a month on your living expenses, they're going to use this higher amount still. But again, if you say you've got kids in private school, which is again a common one where generally people with kids in private school are always over their average expenses due to how expensive these schools are, you'll see that then we have to use the higher amount. And so then let's say, just in this example, I won't add in all the expenses because there is a lot of them, as you can see. I'll just say, let's say you spent $6,000 a month. And that kind of figure, every bank would use 6,000 because there was more than what their minimum was. And you can see the borrowing capacity has really gone down. From when we started this being 1.4 million as the top, we're down to 600 odd now. And that's with all these things here. So it's really important now, especially to manage your living expenses so that you can get as close to that amount as you can, but without making it not correct. If you can get rid of these car loans or HECS debts or credit card limits down, that's also going to improve your borrowing capacity. So when someone comes to us and says, "What's my borrowing capacity?" there's so much more we need to know before we can give a proper estimate. So if you do want to know what your borrowing capacity is, fill out one of the forms online or give us a call and we can do it for you.